This is becoming an all too familiar cry of business owners big and small. The latest call comes from the town of Vieux-Fort, an area which is experiencing a spike in criminal activity. Following Saturday's shooting death of long-term trusted employee Lawrence Maslin, his boss, businessman Samuel Bryce, wants the police to raise their game in response to the criminal attacks.
The business community is really begging for help from the powers that be. We need a little more patrol. On one hand, sometimes you want to believe that the government is making an attempt to assist, and whether they can or they cannot is not a question that I can answer. It's really heart-wrenching for me this morning that I have no more Lawrence in my life. But like I told all my staff, my family, my children, that life goes on, and we intend to keep pressing on.
Bryce says the loss of his employee is difficult to sum up in words. He says few businesses are spared in the recent spate of robberies. He says the toll on his enterprises is enormous and warns that the criminals are becoming more daring by the day.
The business community has been really crying out, and there's so many instances where basically we don't come to protests with the police because the police have their own hands filled. We had a situation in Larishu some time ago where family Matt was held up at gunpoint, and it was really a situation of fear. Last week on Clark Street, 9 o'clock Saturday morning, they held up a shoe store. Like I said, I had two experiences where my place was broken into. We have cameras. We were able to facilitate the police with at least photographs of the culprits. And as a result of that, we've just been begging and crying, looking for the kind of support that we need. And so far, there's nothing that we can boast about.
Former Prime Minister and current Member of Parliament for Vieux-Fort South, Dr. Kenny Anthony, in a recent interview with News Force's Desmond Collymore, made a similar plea.
I think, however, that given the spate of crimes in Vieux-Fort, the Commissioner of Police need to hold an urgent meeting with the business people of Vieux-Fort and the citizens of Vieux-Fort to discuss the recent events, to calm them, and of course to advise them on what measures that will be put in place to deal with the incidents of crime. I would urge him to do so as quickly as possible. This is really crucial because there's a lot of fear now in the community.
The business owners in Vieux-Fort say they are feeling the brunt of the attacks and are calling for definite action to address the latest spate of robberies and violence in the south of the island. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.